Okay, guys, welcome back. Today's day 27. I got 3 more days, and the 30-day challenge is over. I gotta tell you, it wasn't that hard. You know, I thought it would be, but it wasn't. I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. Today, we're gonna talk about RESPA. What does RESPA stand for? Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act. What is RESPA all about? RESPA wants to be sure that the buyer gets the true cost of credit, that the buyer is told and is given every single cost in a closing. That's if the buyer is getting what? Financing. So 3 days after the buyer sees the lender must provide loan estimate of settlement cost. They also have to provide the booklet. What does the booklet have? Well, how much you're going to pay. An explanation. The booklet is an explanation of every single line item that the lender is charging you. What else must you be provided? A mortgage servicing disclosure. Well, what does that mean? It means that the lender is going to sell your mortgage. But what are they going to do? Well, they're going to service the mortgage, sell it, and then service it. What else is RESPA involved with? Kickbacks. RESPA doesn't like kickbacks. RESPA believes that if there are kickbacks, you need to be licensed to get a kickback. So it's a referral fee. You can't just get a handshake from a lender or a title company for that matter. No, you're not supposed to. How does it work? Well, if you're working with a lender and you want to get money from the deal, especially if you're giving him 4 or 5 deals, then what you need to do is you need to get a license. The mortgage loan originator. It's just a 3-day class. Once you become a mortgage loan originator, now legally, that lender can give you a referral fee. Must the buyer and seller know about that? Yes. The buyer and the seller must know. You must disclose that to them. So they have to know. What else is RESPA involved in? Service. Did you provide a service? Well, what does that mean? Because you don't have to be licensed, but did you provide a service? Well, here's an example. You do inspections on a house, and the inspection comes back at $7,000. We all know that inspectors inflate their inspections. Why? They want to protect themselves. That's bottom line. So it comes back $7,000. Buyer and the seller are going back and forth, and you take a look at it and say, hold on a second. I could do this. This is only a weekend job. I could do it for $3,000. And the seller and the buyer agree. They agree to even split it 50-50. Now, there's no permits issues, right? Because you could do it on a weekend. Empty house. Go in there and do it. Must you put that in an addendum? Yes. Can you get paid at closing? Yes. Does the check go to your broker? No. You provided a service. Everybody's going to know. The title company is going to know. Buyer needs to know. Seller needs to know. And at time of closing, you get a check. What else is RESPA involved in? Referrals. What kind of referrals? Agent to agent referrals. Now, if you do a referral agent to agent, must you disclose it to the buyers and sellers? No. Those don't need to be disclosed. Now, what's a common referral? Well, you sell a house here in Florida, and your seller is going to turn into a buyer in a different state. They're going to go buy somewhere else, right? And if they go buy somewhere else, look, the sun's coming out. Today, the weather is way better than yesterday. Yesterday, I was the only one in the beach. It was thundering too. So what does this mean? Your seller's selling, they're buying a house in North Carolina or Georgia, it doesn't matter. And you tell them, hey, do you have an agent? No. Can I find you one? Yes. You go to realtor.com, you send out 3-4 emails, all 4 of them are going to get back to you. I promise you that. And you just pick the guy or the girl that best fits your deal. You negotiate the fee. How much is the referral fees? Well, it depends, you know. Should be between 20 and 30%. That's very common. Can it be more? Yes. Can it be less? Yes. Because commissions are what? Negotiable. All right. Now, once you have an agreement with the agent, what do? You need to put the referral in writing. Who needs to sign that? Your broker, their broker. Once that's signed, what do? Then you offer up the name and phone number of the person. Now, how can you be involved in that transaction? No. Why? Because you're not licensed in that state. How far can you be involved? You can get on a plane. You can go all the way to the other agent's office, okay? All the way to the office. All the way to the office. And when you get there, you can go seller. I'm sorry, seller's not the buyer. Buyer, agent, agent, buyer. Have a great day. You know what I'm going to go do? I'm going to go sightseeing. Oh, come with us. Hell no. If you go, you just waive your referral fee. So definitely don't go. You cannot even get involved in negotiations or nothing. Nothing. Don't get involved. After it closes, they're going to send you a copy of the closing disclosure, and they're going to send you your check. What is it? Who gets the check? Your broker gets the check, and then from there they pay you your commission. What about somebody who is part of the deal? What does that mean? What about the buyer? What about the seller? Can you give them money from your commission? Yes. Yes, you can. Can you give them more than what is required? No. What does that mean? If the buyer's paying cash, it doesn't matter. But if the buyer is getting a conventional loan and he's already getting credit, remember, conventional has a max credit of 3%. FHA has a max credit of 6%. Now, you're not going to give them that kind of money either. But you got to make sure they're not getting that kind of credit already, because it could be overextended. So you need to check that with the lender, see how, if you could even do that. Those kind of things are usually worked under the table. But I certainly didn't tell you that. I'm not even sure that could even be done like that. But it has to be done like this. The buyer is doing a walkthrough, a perfect example, and the refrigerator broke. The buyer's pissed. They usually are. Buyers and sellers are on pins and needles the very last week. There's a lot of stress. Moving, you got a moving company, you got to box everything, you got to make sure everything's clean, you got the utilities to deal with, you got the money you got to move around. I mean, you may have kids. I mean, it's stressful. It's very stressful. What's your job? To make sure everybody's happy. Everybody's happy. So now you do a walkthrough and you're missing the refrigerator. I mean, the refrigerator is broken. Buyer's irate. Buyer's like, oh, that's a sign. I know I shouldn't have bought the house. And you're like, hell no. My commission is 20 grand. That refrigerator costs $3,000. So you can give them the $3,000. Just do an addendum. Seller signs. Everybody signs. And you give them $3,000 for your commission. Can you do that? Yes. As long as the underwriter says, okay, you can do it. And they will. Why? Because you haven't met the max credit. As long as you haven't met it, you're okay. Now, what's a better plan? Involve everybody. I involve everybody. Why? Because if the deal doesn't close, no one gets paid. No one gets paid. So I would involve the other agent, the lender, and the title company. Hey guys, we have a problem. We need to raise $3,000. You may get lucky. Maybe somebody gives you 500, somebody else gives you 250, somebody else gives you, I don't know, 1,000, and you only put the difference. And you got it done with less money. But you already know if you need to put the 3, you're going to put the 3. Because it's way better to make 17 than 0 and start all over. That's painful, especially the day of the closing. Okay, guys, day 27, 3 more days. Thank you. Thank you for being here with me. Rick Suarez, the Nutty Real Estate Professor. Go to my website. Having problems passing this test? I have everything you need. I promise you that. Till tomorrow.